So welcome back, and we are going to do continue back our series Combined Science paper 2022, paper 42, question number 6 that we finished previously. So previous video we learned until here, so we are going to continue by question number 6. Figure 6.1 show a crane a load to the top of a building. This crane uses an electric motor lift to lift the load. Okay, so let's look at this question. At the start of the load is rest on the ground, the load is lifted at a constant acceleration. So we know that this thing is going up. So this thing is going up in a constant acceleration. Calculate the acceleration of the load during the first 2 seconds. So what is the formula for acceleration? A equals to what? Okay, mathematics. Okay, first we need to know the thing that we have. We have 2 seconds, we have the time, we have the speed. So if you still remember the formula A equals to V minus U over T, correct or not? This one is MS formula also, right? MS also, they always use this same formula. So V is what? So V is correct. Yeah, V is correct. The student did correct. Okay, the student did correct. Okay, final speed minus, you write the whole sentence lah. I'm lazy to write the whole sentence. Minus U, initial speed. Of course, you write the whole word lah, divided by the time taken. So equals to the final speed is 0.5 minus 0 divided by T, which is 2.
But then the Z-Notes book said acceleration is the formula.
Okay, so after that you get 0.5 divided by 2. Your answer is 0.25 ms negative 2. Make sense? If you put in all the unit, you will get back the same answer. Okay, it's the same as this one is 0.5 ms over s minus 0 m over s divided by 2s. You get back this answer. So it's the same thing. And so the answer is 0.25. Very straightforward question. And the answer is the unit. The unit the student get correct. So at least the student will get 1 mark for the unit. So it's get 1 mark. So let's look at this case study of the student do for a while. Let's do the case study for the student. Like, even when you look at it, it is something wrong, but how do you know that there is something wrong? Let's look at the unit. Let's say the final speed. Let's say I put something I put something blah blah blah. Speed sure is ms m over s plus blah 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 over m over s, and then divided by s blah 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 s times s blah 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 s time. So if you look at this thing, if you cut this, your unit answer will be get the speed. The book write 2. So let's say we look at this thing, and I assume I use back 2 I use back 2. So blah 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 plus blah 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 divided by 2 times s. So what I will get will be blah 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 divided by 2 assuming m over s time the time s. So eventually I will get the meter, correct or not? Blah 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 m over s, I should put x blah 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 time s. So you cut, you get blah 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 meter. So you see or not? It makes sense. I put here something alpha beta so you get back the meter. So even you check yourself roughly, you know that this is something wrong, because after I use the speed times the time divided by 2, I will get the distance, because I know the final unit is the distance. If you can understand this, is very good, because it shows that you can understand why the unit, the unit is actually algebraic expression. When you cut, you still get back the correct unit. I help you to do in your question. The mass of the load is 500 kg. The load is lifted from the ground to the top of the building is 25 meters. So I highlight the important point first. Gravitational strength is 10. Calculate the work done is 125. So just times work equals to this one mgh ma, correct or not? So the student just write work done equals to mgh. So m equals to mass, g equals gravity, h equals to height. You get 123,000 joule or 125 kilojoule is the same thing. But the marking scheme say that work equals to force times distance. So it is still the same lah. The force equivalent to this 10 times what, correct or not? Because you kg ma, kg cut, and then I got blah 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 Newton, correct or not? This one times this one algebraic, cut this one, I just get the Newton. So you will get 5,000 Newton times the distance, which is 25 meter. So I get back the same answer. Okay, but this is the marking scheme lah. But this one also is correct because it's also potential energy. Up to you lah. Up to you. The power of the electric motor is 5 kilowatt. The crane takes 56 seconds to lift it to the top. Calculate the electric energy that is supplied to the motor. So what is the formula? Okay, so correct, power equals to work divided by time. If you remember this, so he give me the time and the power. So I know that he asked me to calculate the electric supply. So the work equals to power times time, which is correct. The student did correct. So the power is 5,000. Oh, this is the mistake. 5,000 times 56. So you get 200. So wasted lah, because the student forget to write the unit. This is the common mistake that the student do. Sometimes they forget the K, or sometimes they forget to change back the unit. The electrical energy supply is greater than the useful work. Of course, you do energy loss. This one also already got the answer. I mean, they always ask back the same question. Some electric energy is transferred in other ways. Suggest one other ways, and suggest one other way that which the electric energy is lost. Energy is lost. I mean, it won't be 100% efficient. And the best will be 60%. Even for car engine, the best is only 60% for car engine. Yeah, you cannot use 90%. If you use 90%, means it's a new breakthrough in technology. It's a more greener for the environment, and it will save a lot of money also for the petrol consumption, because it means that every time you pay 10 ringgit petrol, actually you only use 6 ringgit for the petrol. 4 ringgit is wasted for the engine heat, for the sound of the car, for the I don't know, maybe friction against the wind or whatever. But usually it's sound and heat lah, because the engine produce heat, and 40% of the energy is lost due to heat. So yeah, so energy is lost. So here the student say heat energy. What are the other answer that you can write? So maybe you can say also friction with the machine, or also air resistance. But of course, I think the main one will be the what lah? The main one is the heat lah. The main one is the heat ma, because you want to move the crane up . Of course, if you want to say air resistance also, it means there's some air blow lah, then there's a resistance in the air. So correct also lah, but the amount is very negligible, very small. Moving on, question number 7. Potato pieces A, B, and C are immersed in a salt solution of different concentration for 30 minutes. The length of the potato are measured before and after the immersion. So you want to put something into the potato, you want to put something into the solution. So what he want to test? Probably he want to test how the concentration affect the length, correct or not? If I put more concentrated, like the hypothesis maybe will be something like, if the solution is more concentrated, then the length will be more. Or if the solution is more concentrated, then more water will be taken by the cell to make the cell bigger, or more, means it's just a hypothesis lah, like if the solution is more concentrated, more water will be absorbed by the cell. So probably the whole experiment they want to talk about osmosis, correct or not? The from the water from the outside of the cell to inside the cell. So let's look at this one. Salt solution 0.1, so this one 0.6. So this one is the most salty one, and we can see that length of potato. So length of potato, so this one will become bigger. So this one will become smaller. Okay. The ikan bilis, or maybe the ikan bilis lah, the salty fish or whatever lah. So we put the salt on the fish. We know that the salt actually take the water from the fish out from the body due to the concentration of the salt. So this one will make the food last longer by taking the water out, and also make it too much concentration of salt, so too dry and too salty, so bacteria also won't want to live at a dry food. So yeah, so if you put too much salt, then we know that it will draw water out from the plant. So of course the whole thing, we know that this is actually a osmosis process rather than a diffusion, because when we talk about diffusion, is higher concentration to lower concentration. So if we are talking that higher concentration is the salt, and if go into the water and the solution go into the thing, that is called a diffusion, from a higher concentration to a lower concentration. But from this one we can see is shorter, it's more like towards the water coming out from the cell rather than the higher concentration to the lower concentration. So the water coming out from the cell, meaning that it is from the higher water potential to the lower water potential. So this whole thing is talking about osmosis, okay? A bit for a plant usually it's osmosis lah, okay, rather than diffusion, because the water by osmosis, the roots can absorb the water into the roots. So basically this is the nature of plant. Maybe I think the easiest way is just remember plant is usually is osmosis, okay, because the plant want to absorb the water. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way to remember. Okay, so calculate the percentage of increase. So you use, I mean this is mathematics and science, so you use the change difference 5 divided by original, which 80 times 100, you get increase of 6.25%, like discount lah, how many percent discount? This one is a straightforward question. Oh, the student didn't get too much because the marking scheme is, okay, so I got no place to put, so I put here. The first mark is the percentage increase which the student do correctly, so he get 1 point. The another bar is you need to minus 85 minus 80 equals to 5 mm. So I just follow the marking scheme. The student didn't draw minus, so the student just get 1%. So I know from your heart usually you will say as a student, life is not fair. I know life is not fair, This is life, so get used to it. Life is not fair. So be careful, even you know how to do, especially the smart student, but they skip the working. I think your math teacher always tell you, right? Usually the smart student that sometimes that gets me because they're too smart, so they skip a lot of working, and they assume people know, but you must assume the examiner is stupid, and then we want to tell him everything. And me as a teacher also lah. I mean, when I teach, I must assume that the student don't know everything, and maybe the student don't know and they just keep quiet. They don't want to ask, especially for Malaysia student. Explain why the length of potato is decrease. Disease means that lah. Use the osmosis in your answer. Of course, it's the osmosis lah, because the water coming out from the plant, it's not diffusion because plant undergo osmosis. I don't want to go to the whole chapter lah, but just remember osmosis is for the plant. And what you need to do is you just need to write back the definition of osmosis. So osmosis goes from the water from the high potential to the low potential. But the student only get 1 mark. Let's see. Concentration of salt is too high in osmosis because water in potato move out as the potential outside is lower. Yeah, this one I don't know want to give mark or not, because usually the definition of osmosis is high water potential move to the low water potential. Better just say lower. Okay lah. So we just give this one more mark. Okay, water move up from the high water potential to the lower water potential. And one more mark. Where is it? One more mark. In osmosis, where's another keyword for definition is semi what?
Permeable.
Through semi-permeable membrane. Semi-permeable membrane. Okay, means that this thing only allow the water to go in but don't allow certain molecule to go in. If not, when you put the water, then the plant will start to spread into the water rather than the plant absorb water. Right? Diffusion means when you put the plant will mix with the water, if you want to talk about diffusion. But this is not. This is osmosis. Water go into the plant, even though the plant is more concentrated, but the water going to the plant. But I cannot say the diffusion, so I just say osmosis. So why osmosis? Because the water move from higher water potential to lower water potential. So why is it higher water potential? Okay, you just remember like that. Just remember like that is the easiest. Means you got high potential water lah. I don't know why they want to use high water potential, but that is the word. Okay, so you get 2 mark for this one. So just add one more mark. Another mark the student didn't get with semi-permeable membrane. So 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark. Okay, makes sense. Suggest why is an advantage for a plant to have longer roots hair in area where soil is dry. Of course, they want to have a longer root hair, so to get water lah, to get more water from, and okay.
Okay.
So the mark will be, the key mark is I just understand the point. Okay, I got right here, or you don't write semi-permeable, you can write partially permeable. Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, so the first mark is it will make it a greater surface area of the root. Correct? Not more root. Small long root means more surface area. Like the lung, the alveolus is small, so that it can increase the surface area. And while the surface area increase, the water absorption will be increased as well. Food on the head allow a plant to absorb from deep underground. I don't know want to give this one correct or not, but I just leave it wrong lah, because like that lah, because the first keyword is greater surface area. Of course, the second word is increased absorption, which the student also did right, but the student didn't link with the first point. Next, mineral ions are essential for healthy growth in plant. So when they talk about ions, they'll usually only talk about 3 ions for IGCSE, which is what? Magnesium, some more what? Magnesium,
Nitrate. Yeah.
nitrate, and potassium.
Phosphorus.
Or potassium or phosphorus, is it? So we have magnesium, nitrate, and potassium. I want to know the deficiency. So usually without what, the leaf will become yellow. For nitrate, the leaf will become yellow, and for magnesium, the leaf will become yellow, and for the nitrate, actually the lower part also will become yellow. So all is becoming yellow actually. So usually the answer you just write yellow leaf is correct. What is the function for magnesium?
Synthesis chlorophyll.
Yeah, okay, for photosynthesis to produce chlorophyll. So without enough chlorophyll, the plant leaf looks yellow. How about for nitrate? What is the function of nitrate?
For growth.
For growth, for production of protein. Of course, protein is for the production of growth lah. Beyond growth, the plant have a stunt growth and stunt growth. Okay. How about potassium? What's the function of potassium? Production of flower and fruit. So without potassium, of course, one of the thing is the the leaf is yellow and poor growth in flower. Okay, the flower is not good. So now you learn a bit about the plant. In case then one day you want to become a botanist, then you need to buy this mineral. The plant don't have flower, buy potassium. The plant is not growing well, so maybe you need to buy some fertilizer more on nitrate and so on. So let's look at the question. Where is the question? Mineral is essential. State the function of magnesium. Magnesium is for the production of chlorophyll. To grow healthily is nitrate. Okay, because it is for production of protein, and that is why I see some muscular people, even though they just eat plant, they have a lot of muscle, because we can see that the protein also is made in the plant to form protein and amino acid. But I do not know how human can synthesize it, but we can see cow is so much bigger and so much muscular than rhinoceros, even though they just eat plant. So doesn't mean eat plant is like poorer better growth or poorer muscular growth. But some people they do gym, they thought that always eat the meat will produce more body growth, but that's another topic but it's not necessary. Okay, you just can take plant and you can grow very strong and healthy. The reason is because you eat too much meat and you have high cholesterol. Like when you reach my age, I can't believe that I got high cholesterol. I mean, I always think I'm healthy until not very.
You have high cholesterol.
No, only slightly only very very slight. But the doctor say your age is like that lah. Like what? This doctor so it's a difficult truth to take. Don't laugh at me. One day when you become like 30 years old, then you will see. I'm from Malaysia, so I think it's Malaysia better than other country. Describe if effect of deficiency of magnesium. Leaf turn yellow. Yeah, just write leaf turn yellow. Leaf turn yellow. Leaf turn yellow is correct. But nitrate, maybe you want to write stunt growth which I scared the marking scheme are more towards stunt growth. And for the potassium, you might want to write the poorer growth of fruit and flower. So these three, just remember these three I think exam they will ask. If not in objective, it will be in subjective. Okay, so it will surely come up. Next question, number 8. A bromine atom, what is this? And I look at the question, I'm like, what is this, bro? This is what? This is ionic bond, or usually I will ask, is a ionic bond or covalent bond? Ionic bond or covalent bond?
uh, wait, bromine is. Wait.
Yeah, so this is a covalent bond. Why is it covalent?
Because it's sharing, lor.
Yeah, it's sharing. Why is it sharing?
Because it needs one more electron.
Yeah, it means more another, and we can see it is from non-metal with non-metal. Non-metal with non-metal, so it is a covalent bond. Rather than a metal and non-metal, we can refer back to the periodic table, which I don't want to show. I'm very lazy to show. I showed many times already. So we know it's ionic bond. Since you are talking about bromine, you can imagine somewhere. I hope you know where is it bromine is the right side towards the periodic table. Correct or not? Bromine is
You
around
just said
here.
you don't want to show.
Never mind. I scared. I must show. Okay, so it's towards the side, so it's non-metal. So non-metal and non-metal, so it is a covalent bond. Okay, if metal and non-metal, then it's ionic. I already mentioned many times. So if sharing means it is sharing, means you need to draw it stick together. Okay, that's why this will be the answer. Okay, because there is a sharing of one electron. Be careful sometimes there is a sharing of one electron, sometimes it's sharing of two electron. Usually it's either one electron or two electron. So this is sharing of one electron. I just draw one. Because Bi is -1 so it just need one electron. For others maybe it need two. Okay lah, one usually is one I cannot think of any example with two electron sharing. 2 marks. So where does this 2 mark come from? The first mark will be on the share pair is 1 mark. So you need to draw 2 circles. And then the electron. So the circle is correct, you get 1 mark. The dot and the cross is correct, you get another mark. Okay, so that's why they say 2 mark. This one didn't get any mark. The boiling point of the bromine is 59. One thing we know, covalent bond is high or low melting point for covalent bond compared to ionic bond.
High.
It has lower boiling point and also melting point for covalent bond, which 59 is 59 Celsius is quite low I mean you won't kill a person When we say high, it will be like 1000 plus, especially for ionic bond, maybe like I don't know, sodium chloride for example. You want to melt sodium chloride, means you need to take a salt and you want to burn it until it melt. So that I think it will takes a lot of temperature, maybe 1000. Usually it's around 1000 when we talk about ionic bond, and like the compound is not easy to like to what for example like ferrum oxide. When to extract it, we know that it takes 1000 degrees just to get the metal. So this is a low boiling point. Why is it low? Let me read the question later. I answered wrong question. I haven't read the question. Explain what happened to the bromine molecule when the bromine boil. Use about molecule and energy answer. So molecules start to vibrate vigorously to escape the water surface because kinetic energy increase when the temperature increase. So there's nothing wrong. It's correct. I mean, this one answer is correct because the molecules start to vibrate and escape from the surface because the kinetic energy increase. But the marking scheme answer is you need to write the distance. The distance between the bromine molecule increase, thus overcome the intermolecular forces. So I just follow the marking scheme lah. The marking say distance and intermolecular forces. I just copy. So you need to say like maybe you can add that's why I like to add more detail. Molecules start to vibrate and the distance between the bromine molecule increase. Full stop. The temperature will increase until it overcome intermolecular forces. Then you get, okay, so yeah, just follow.
Distance increase, that means like it is further apart from each other.
Yeah, so that's why
Okay.
you might want to consider to add more. Actually it's correct, but I just follow the marking scheme. So that is make the things tough. Even though the answer correct, but it's not thing that require the marking scheme. That is difficult thing in IGCSE. But of course IGCSE is easier if you want to compare with other exam. They are more towards memorizing. But IGCSE is more towards understanding. That's why I like IGCSE, more towards understanding. Orange aqueous bromine is mixed with colorless aqueous potassium chloride. Predict the color change. So aqueous bromine with potassium chloride. If I want to write potassium chloride is what? NaCl, is it? So KCl, and bromine is Br negative, KCl negative. Explain the change is no change because bromine is more reactive than potassium. So we need to refer to this one. Is we remember already we have the thing we call as series of reactivity of metal. And another thing is we need to remember as well. This one I seldom teach because I seldom ask, but I don't know. Sometimes the question ask. We seldom ask so I didn't teach. But we know that for series activity of non-metal is fluorine, chlorine, oxygen, bromine, iodine, sulfur, and phosphorus. So when we look at here, we can see that potassium, they are talking about potassium and chloride. So I just underline first. They're talking about bromine, sorry. They're talking about bromine and chloride. So let's draw bromine and chloride. So bromine is here and chloride is here. So we can see that chloride is more reactive. So because this is already a ionic solution, ionic bond, already stick together already. Okay? Chlorine and potassium already together, they're married. And we know also chlorine is stronger. So now you want to break people apart. How? Cannot, because bromine is less reactive. But sometimes students will confuse. Well, this one cannot break. But you must know that the question asks what is the thing to break something. This is the something because there is two words, because this is potassium chloride. They are not talking about chloride break. I would say that chlorine can break potassium bromide, for example. Okay, potassium bromide, KBr, something like that. Okay, Cl can break it, but K, and then but another one cannot. Okay, Br cannot break KCl because Br is not strong enough. So sometimes students don't know, because I say like that. Yeah, I say like that because we look at the question properly. Okay, the question say who break who. The question saying bromine trying to break chloride, but not chloride break bromine. I don't know how to explain this thing but the thing I want to say is read the question properly, because sometimes the question can twist to chloride and potassium bromide. So if you get a different answer, and then you think that I got read before, but you cannot. So you need to know two things. The first is the question, read properly. Second thing, you need to memorize this one so that you won't get this wrong. I think not that difficult it's just a fluorine, chlorine, bromine. Okay lah, you just need to remember like that lah, by memory, or you look at periodic table like help a bit. When
Time
last,
subject.
when last hydrocarbon molecule are cracked, alkenes are produced. Yes, this we don't want it to be a raw oil. We want to produce it so you can use in a car, in a plane, a lorry. Stay cool condition in this process. So the process of cracking need two condition, which is the presence of catalyst and high temperature. Yummy, because can earn a lot of money. I like petrol. Take all the money from the ground and you are paying money from it. That's why people complain that actually the oil money is supposed to be for the citizen, not for the country. Of course they subsidize lah, because you are taking money from the ground and the ground belong to the country and belong to the, you don't want to belong to the king, belong to the king, no, belong to the citizen, belong to the country lah. That's why the country subsidize the oil, something like that, because you are taking oil from free, and then when we buy oil we pay for the full price, but after that our government also didn't subsidize petrol. That's why it's a very rich business. So you can see in KLCC, they with the money itself they can produce the whole building, the tallest building. Aqueous bromine is used to test the
Time subject.
so that's it. Thank you very much and I see you next time. Bye bye.